EventT Collides
will be a monthly tournament broadcast live on
every first Sunday of the month.
EventT Collides will be the premier esports program.
An absolute must-watch.
Big name sponsors and collaborations with the likes of Twitch, CCP and EveBet
will provide us with lots of giveaways and prizes for the viewers.
Expect expert commentary and post-match analysis from all the big names in EVE.
Chesser,
Apotheny,
Bob Shaftos,
Gorski Car and more.
Come and check out our website and make sure to tune in every first Sunday. Every first Sunday.
Cool. Good evening, welcome to EventT Collides. This is the third instalment. My name is Bayart J, and this is going to be an interesting matchup for you. I hope you enjoy it. We've got Cynosural Club versus Cynosural Field Theory. Just to tell you a little bit about the teams. Cynosural Club live in a wormhole and they do lots of small, medium gang roaming stuff, and they're pretty decent PvPers, and they're also interested in tournaments. They've taken part in the last 2 tournaments and sort of got to the middle of the tournament, so they're okay. They've definitely taken interest in tournaments. Cynosural Field Theory, their main corp is Nocturnal Romance. They've got a pretty big reputation in EVE of living in low sec and dropping capitals on things, but they also do other stuff as well. They took part in the last tournament. Unfortunately, didn't get very far, and they've taken part in a couple of Neos, I believe, and they're definitely keen on PvP. So I really hope they do well. If we're just going to start the local, we're going straight into the first match for you to get things going. So we are going to hand you over to Bob, who is going to just talk about the teams a little bit while we start the countdown in local. So countdown starting now, and Bob, over to you.
Thanks a lot, Bay. So yeah, we've got our first exciting match here with Nocturnal Romance, also known as Cynosural Field 3, and we have Cynosural Club on the other side. Cynosural Club has brought a very interesting Slipnir, Sweeple, Harpy, Scimitar, kind of Mimitar Rush kind of setup. What do you think Nocturnal Romance's setup at Jesser?
You know, as far as I'm looking at for Nocturnal Romance, I really think that the Double Typhoon is, kind of an interesting setup here, and at least against the Zwippels, Slipnir, and the Scimitar, I think it's going to be really interesting to me if these Typhoons are going to be able to do anything against those Zwippels. With a Scimitar to help the Zwippels, as long as they can separate or somehow dislodge the Typhoons from each other, I think it's going to be kind of an interesting counterplay to see if these smaller, faster ships can use their mobility to separate the 2 big ships that are here. I think that for the most part, the 2 Punishers aren't going to be really that huge of a deal, because if they come anywhere near the Zwippels, I think they're going to make short work of them.
Oh, I totally agree there. I think in this match, those 2 Punishers need to get on top of that Scimitar and hard tackle it down, so those Typhoons can apply what I imagine are going to be rapid heavy missile launchers or cruise missiles to Typhoons, and the match is underway. So immediately we have drones out for the Typhoons. The Typhoons are shooting at Sweeples straight away, so no logistics going for the Sweeples.
Yeah, definitely. One of the Typhoons, actually, the Typhoon of a Malar, he's actually burning in. The other Typhoon isn't moving at all. So the separation that we were talking about before the beginning of the match is already starting to occur here. And I think that's kind of a dangerous game to play here. I am really curious to see if the Zwippels coming out of the Sleeper Social Club are going to be able to get around and get behind and just take out that X-Crew right away. And it looks like that may be what they were trying to do.
Yeah, not not a lot going on at the moment. The Sweeples are running away, no damage applied. It does look as if it's potentially rapid heavy missile launchers on those Typhoons. Time will tell with that. Itzagor and the Sweeple taking initial damage here. Looks like the Simi's keeping them up though.
Yeah, I think the Typhoons, even with their application bonus, they are rapid heavy, so they're going to actually just waive that. And they're going to have a really difficult time taking out Zipples once they switch to defense mode and they get under Logi. We've seen it before with the Tuskers and Waffles, where these big battleships have a really difficult time breaking these T3Ds when the T3Ds still have their Logi up. And like I was alluding to earlier, Bob, I really think it's going to be difficult for the double Typhoon team with only 2 Punishers to really put any hard pressure on the Scimitar that is fielded currently by the Sleeper Social Club.
Yeah, so there's a very interesting reversal there. One of the Punishers actually got a tackle on one of the Sweeples, and the Sweeples started taking a lot of damage because the hard tackle on the Sweeple allowed the missiles launchers for the Typhoons to fly a lot of damage to him. That Punisher is now counter tackled and taking a lot of damage. Executor is keeping him up a little bit, but he did dip in structure. We'll see how that goes though.
Yeah, no, definitely. And this is what we were talking about earlier right here. These 2 Typhoons are completely unable to help the X-Squirrel, which is now trying to defend off as Vipple and now a Slipnir closing on it as well. And I just see the X-Squirrel going down and then the 2 Typhoons dying a slow, painful death to the damage of the Slipnir and the Vipples. I don't see them breaking either of those ships underneath dedicated Scimitar reps. And this is kind of the problem of bringing battleships to a fight that are, in fact, nowhere near or unable to screen these really, really fast and mobile ships that are shown here just to dive your backline.
Yeah, these missiles from Typhoons are literally just disappearing. The Typhoons are currently trying to shoot the Scimitar, but as I said, the missiles just aren't reaching there. And as that happens, the Nocturnal Romance Executor is getting taken down by the combined arms of both these Sweeples and the Slipnir. So as soon as this Executor goes down, it's pretty much done for Cyno.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think that what we're seeing here between the 2 teams, and they've brought a lot of these double battleship heavy setups, it seems to me, especially with not even going with full points, that they're really not thinking about a lot of the tournament types of situations here. This X-Squirrel is holding on by the skin of its teeth, but it's not going to last long.
This taking a lot of damage though under semi-rep. But what's going on here? If this Sweeple dies, it might turn around the match even a little bit, even if they traded for the Executor. I guess holding on low shields.
Yeah. No. Both of the Typhoons are actually near this one Zvipple of Esclagar, and he needs to switch to defense mode very, very quickly. X-Square down, so this is going to be the real test right here. If Esclagar can live under the Scimitar reps of both the Typhoons trying to focus him, which we've seen before has happened, assuming they have similar fits, I think like you were alluding to earlier, Bob, this is going to be a really, really tough fight for 2 Typhoons at this point, because, all they have is just 2 Tech 1 frigates and a Harpy, which, Zvipples don't care about at all.
Yeah, I agree. So one of those Punishers being deleted by the Sleeper Social Club team. Second Punisher's on its way out. As soon as both these Punishers are gone, the Typhoons will not really be able to apply damage on these small ships under reps due to the fact that they can't tackle them. So I think it's effectively called for Sleeper Social Club at this point. It's going to be
most definitely. I just want to make a shout out to Jeremiah, the current Scimitar pilot of the Sleeper Social Club. He's been doing a great job getting the reps on and making sure that they stay on their 2 very, very high priority T3Ds. He's done a great job with that. And, just all he's had to do essentially is just outfly 2 Typhoons. Zvipples are extremely fast. Punishers and Harpies are both extremely slow frigates, stand no chance against a T3D. And, it just goes back to show that just bigger isn't always better, especially in these 5-man tournament setups. Essentially, these double battleship setups that both of these teams really seem to favor sink so many points into these hulls, and they can be picked apart by a very, very knowledgeable and high mobility team.
Yeah, I totally agree. If you really think about it, these 2 Typhoons in a Nocturnal Romance setup could potentially have been 2 Claymores or 2 Slipnirs, which may have been a lot better applying damage to that.
Oh, definitely. And look at how fast this Foon is just melting under the DPS. Just look at that. That's incredible. Unless they have hull tanked Foons. But he is just getting shredded. Looking at the rate of how fast he's going down, though, I highly doubt he's hull tanked.
Yeah, it looks like that Scimitar's finally getting damage applied to it, though. Those rapid heavy missiles are finally, hitting. the Scimitar isn't repping yet, though. I wonder if he does have an ASB or not. He is
Yeah.
slowly outranging the Typhoon, though, and I imagine he will get outranged pretty quickly.
And once the first Typhoon goes down, it's definitely over. What Sleeper Social Club needed to do off the bat was have both Typhoons on that Scimitar at all times. Stress its tank, force it to use its cap, force it to burn away, and then get into a situation where maybe you can get a T3D caught down in between you. Oh, first Typhoon dawn. This is really going to be difficult now for Cyno to be able to do anything. One Typhoon left on the field. But like I was saying, stress that Scimitar's cap, make him pilot, make him make a mistake. Maybe the T3D gets out of the range of the reps and goes down. That's what needed to happen right away. I think it was an unwise decision to immediately try and kill a T3D, because we've shown in the past here on EVE-NT Collides that it's really difficult for battleships to kill T3Ds.
Yep, definitely confirm. What are your predictions for T3D use in coming Alliance tournament, Jesse?
You know what? In a 12-man setup, I think that T3Ds certainly have their place. I think that of the T3Ds that are currently available, the Zvipple is by far the most useful. And I say that because its ability to act as fast, hard tackle and ability to shed enemy support is very, very high. I also see long-range T3Ds like Jackdaws using their extreme LML range and damage allows them to sit back safely and apply this very nice anti-tackle use from far back where they can be safe and near Logi. I think in those two aspects, I think T3Ds work very, very well. I have yet to see, or I'm thinking about, a good Confessor Hecate setup. And there goes the last Typhoon. Congratulations to Sleeper Social Club.
Yep, last Typhoon down, Sleeper Social Club, flawless victory there. Taking it back to Bay.
Yep, thank you very much. That last match went pretty well for Sleeper Social Club, clearly, not really being stressed that much under the power of those Typhoons. I wonder if those Typhoons had those new missile modules that increased damage application. Maybe they needed them, but they didn't. Okay, so the way this is going to work, I'm going to do a... hello, we've got a webcam, by the way, if you can't see it. We've got I'm going to ask you a question now. Give away some EveBet credit. By the way, you can bet on these matches on evebet.com. So if you are pretty confident you think Sleeper Social Club are going to smash it for the next couple of matches, or you think Cyno might come back, put some money on, win yourself some money back, maybe. There's some pretty good odds on there at the moment. I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to give away 100 million-isk EveBet credit to the next 9 people that X up, basically, in the in-game channel, which is #Eve_NT Collides. Okay, in-game channel. So if you want to win some ISK, I'll give you a few seconds to type that in. So what we're doing today, in the last 2 installments of EVE-NT Collides, we had the Tuskers in the first one, won the match. They beat Test Alliance. They came back to defend their title, and they beat Waffles. Because it's so close to AT, Tuskers said they were a little bit busy, obviously, with practicing and theory crafting for that. So instead, I got together 2 teams who signed up for Alliance Tournament, didn't manage to get in through the draw, and also didn't manage to get in through the bidding process. So obviously they were very keen on taking part in Alliance Tournament, but couldn't make it. So I put the shout out, and Sleeper Social Club and Cyno were 2 of those teams. So they're obviously all very keen tournament teams. So I'm just going to ask the first question now, which is, what is Gorski Car's spirit animal? Is it A, a crab, B, a tiger, or C, a legion? I hope I've got the answer right. I didn't actually check with him. This is one of the other commentators. So see if you can guess which is Gorski Car's spirit animal. It's A, a crab, B, a tiger, or is it C, a legion? So the first 9 people to X up in the #Eve_NT Collides channel in-game on Tranquility will win themselves 100 million-isk EveBet credit. Okay, we're going to quickly go to a quick trailer now, and then when we come back, Bob Shaftos will lead a little bit of discussion on the teams and how that match went while the teams switch over.
Stay frosty, our friendly neighborhood low-sec pirates have decided to bring an entire Yar fleet.
Okay, what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna sit 10k off a target, we're gonna blap it really quick, and then we're gonna warp to the run spot. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Outstanding. Okay, stand by.
So hey guys, here's the deal. They got their Prophecy fleet up, and then Razor also has an Oracle fleet. So we should have some interesting stuff about to happen.
So it's going to be like this. We're going to portal through, and at the same time, the triage carriers are going to jump. Just the triage carriers at first. Everyone clear?
Let me see. Oh crap. I think... Will we be able to take on Guardians?
Yeah, they got 4 Guardians. I don't think we should do this.
we can do this. Don't worry about that.
Now we're gonna fucking play some fun games.
My heart's racing.
Fun, relax. All wings align. Primary is the Dominics in 5, 4, 3, 2. Decloak, decloak, decloak. Torpedoes on the Dominics. Dominics, Dominics.
Orbit on me, micro warp drives on. We're moving.
Secondaries, Vipers, and the Omen.
He's in structure. Take him down.
Newt, that revelation out now.
All newts on the rev.
Turn out towards that jump now.
All damps on the damnation. All damps on the damnation. Scepter, stay here and tackle prophecies. This is where we fight.
Alright. So I'm carrying 100 times more than my ship is worth. There were some pirates chasing me. There's one guy chasing me through like 5 different systems. I need to get the fuck out of this system.
This little rock right here is worth about 166 million ISK. For some people this might not be a big deal, but for me, it's huge.
Seller 4.2, pretty nice. Gonna produce 4 of them, 2 days, 19 hours, 11 minutes, 44 seconds. We can expect to make 8 to 10 million around there.
51 out of 56 grid? Okay, good. And we've got 5 modules to fit in here. The ship's speed is actually pretty good. It can hit 4K a second. We're gonna hurt that now by adding on some armor buffer.
Up, success.
Yeah. Thanks, dudes.
Yay, this is so much fun.
Oh yeah, such fun. It's almost done now. Like, less than a week.
Oh, look. Okay,
Whoa.
got it.
That is Rexing Gigs right there.
Archivian silos down, Archivian silos down.
Go, go, go. Sun stuff.
Portal, portal, primary.
Gate is green, gate is green. Sniper skills to long range ULAS BSC. Aggregates idle and green, come on.
Oh shit, how do I warp to something?
E-War Jones. All E-War Jones on Scott.
Why are you decloaking?
So will be the secondary. Oh my god, that's a Titan!
Holy shit!
Let's go! Get those fucking bombs out! Red group fire! Gold group stand by! Come on, boys! Come on! Come on! Come on! Yeah! Yeah! Fucking sweet!
Audio light. Okay, thanks for that. Bob Shafter, over to you for a little bit of discussion on how you thought that match went, and have a little chat while we wait for the teams to reship.
Hey guys, I'm Bob Sheftos, and I'm joined here in the analysis desk by Epiphany, Chesser, Gorsky Carr, and Sutonia. How you doing, guys?
Yeah, good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good, thanks.
So, Gorsky, Sutonia, what do you guys think of that first match? Do you think Nocturnal Romance slash Cyno could have done anything to win it? Or do you think that's a foregone conclusion based on the setups?
They could maybe, like, if the Punishers caught Logi in the start or something and they pressured it hard, they could have won. Because, like, you can't really kill a linked T3 Destroyer with Logi on it with heavy missiles.
Yeah, I think they should have maybe gone for the Scimitar first.
You might even go for the Sleipnir and, like, newt it out.
To be fair, though,
T3D.
when that Punisher managed to tackle that sweeple, it did look as if he was, struggling to tank there. I think it was rapid heavy missile launchers. I think they may have had some of the new...
He was not struggling. Like, the moment he started just going back up to full, you just watched him go into defense mode. He was just chillaxing, going, "Hi, you're getting into me, low shield. Defense mode, got you." It was
like, as long as you survive the first reload, you're, like, pretty much fine.
Yeah, it's worth pointing out that Rapid Heavies did get buffed in the patch now, which I think is live on Sissy, which is what we're playing on, with the 5% heavy missile damage buff.
It's live on TQ as well.
Yeah, it was in the Aegis release, actually, just on Tuesday, I believe, with a shiny new Hecate. Unfortunately, I think the only team this collides that brought a Hecate actually got the setup banned, so I don't think we're going to see one. Is that correct?
I believe it is. I do not see another Hecate, so I think sad day.
Hecate.
Yeah, I totally think they should have gone for the Simi and the Sleipnir first. Like, take out the Rets, take out a massive part of DPS. That's what the rapid heavy missiles are really, really good at doing.
Yeah,
Like,
trying to just
in
snipe, I agree.
testing, you should test whether or not 2 rapid heavy missile Foons can kill a Simi with Lynx in 1 cycle. If it can, great. Do that every single time. If it can't, then you know. But this is something you need to know. You need to test. You need to find out these basic things.
Well,
Chester,
if
you're a if you were a Cynosural field theory, what would you do? Which setup would you choose to bring next if you wanted to claw it back?
You know, honestly, I'm going to be straight with you. I don't like a lot of their setups. I think that they're very one-dimensional, and I think that they're not very well thought out. The best setup that I see that they have that I really enjoy is probably their double Orthrus, double Caracal scythe setup. I think it's highly mobile. I think it's got a lot of defense, a lot of utility, and even if they can't kill everything on the grid, they're going to be able to kill a lot of things, and with good piloting, they should just be able to time out and win on points. So I think that's their strongest setup. I think their second strongest setup is probably going to be the Navy Ravens, but I don't like that nearly as much just because you don't have any Logi, and that can hurt you very much in a long match.
No love for Macarials, Chester?
You know, I love Macarials. They're great kiting battleships, but in this type of situation with the fact that they only have 2 Tristans and a Tall War as their anti-support, I'm not too keen on it.
What do you guys think, Gorski and Satonia, they need to bring to win the next match?
Nocturnal Romance, like they seem to hate Lynx, and yeah, this banned some strange sub as well, so I'm not like sure they know what they're doing. I think,
Lynx, right?
Yeah, but I think like the Orpheus sub is definitely the strongest one they have left. And then Navy Ravens could be nice with the new missile mods. You never know if they're good or not.
Yeah, the new missile mods, I think in general, I'm not sure if we have time to talk about it, but I would like to just like kind of toss that out onto the table and just get, if we have time, Bob, to chat about
go ahead,
that.
Chester. It's definitely on the agenda. I'll be very interested to see, for example, how those modules affect the Alliance tournament, and also just general TQ roaming, and maybe we could possibly see a missile renaissance in Eve.
I really want that because I love my missiles. But you know, like this first match is a perfect example. You know, Typhoon's going with RLML, and I hope the Raven Navies don't go RLML. They throw away that wonderful application bonus on cruise missiles, and the Navy Ravens, especially when you're not trying to build them in a kiting setup and you're in this arena mode, really can dedicate a lot of slots to application. Throw on the innate application bonus with precision cruise missiles, and it can be a deadly ship. That being said, though, and I just want someone else to chime in too, I'm struggling to find a great use for these new missile guidance computers and guidance enhancers, just because the ships that need them don't have a lot of slots to give up, and since they were initially pre-nerfed before release, at least in the in application and in projection, I'm just struggling. I just almost am finding it not worth it. I wish that they would revert the application at least to the original numbers proposed. What are your thoughts, guys?
Typhoon fleet issues. Yes, all of my yes.
The original numbers were completely broken.
The Typhoon fleet issues get a ridiculous bonus to damage, 7.5% per level. Like, that's a huge damage bonus. They got a bunch of launchers. Chuck on 2 application computers in the mids. Have like a cruise TFI comp, and you are just gonna alpha nerds for days.
Yeah, but the cruise TFIs totally give up that wonderful application bonus that the regular Typhoon has. Are you so willing to throw that away?
Yeah, because you get it from the mids. The regular Typhoon loses out on the tank, it loses out on the DPS, it loses out on the fitting. Like, you can just, because it's the Navy ship, you can do so much more with the TFI, and it's that raw damage that you need from the bonus, much less than the application when you suddenly have these great mid-slot mods and the TFI is a ship with those utility mids.
Yeah, the regular Typhoon just feels like a big combat battlecruiser in my opinion, especially if you try to kite with it. The Typhoon fleet issue is much more resilient, and it's just much better able to take damage overall than the regular Typhoon.
To kind of chime in here, I think the missile ships that benefit from missile guidance enhancers are missile ships that can fit an armor tank, like the Barguest and the Typhoon Fleet issue as mentioned.
Yeah, we've been running them with Bargas and Rapid Heavies, and they're pretty insane. Replaced our Macarials.
So do you guys think the offer setup for Cyno, think they'll have any tracking computers or missile mods at all?
Oh, one more thing before we go off the
No.
topic. I've got a fit that lets you do 95-kilometer light missile crows with actually good alpha. Like, it's insane.
That sounds like what is it? The wind setup, the Artie Claws? Well, I forgot
Wind
what they're
runners.
called. The Wind Runners.
It's
Thank
like
you.
Artie Claws, only you're 95k from the bad guys.
Dear God.
Sounds
Anyway,
kind of broken.
the Orthrus, I think RLML fit, which they should be, does not need any application bonuses. I've been trying to run a ham Orthrus, and it can get like 1k DPS. It's disgusting, but I think you give up so much in the tank department just because RLML fitting is just a joke that it's just not worth it.
Setting aside rapid light missile launchers for a while, heavy missiles recently got a 5% buff in the latest patch. How do you guys feel about heavy missiles now?
I think it helped Rapid Heavies more than heavy missiles, actually.
I agree with that sentiment from Gorski.
You're not going to use HMLs now.
I think bad position at the moment, mostly because of rapid light missiles do like almost the same DPS. In fact, against like a Vexor at base speed that's just unwebbed, and that's the largest cruiser. Rapid lights with reloads factored on actually do more damage to it than heavy missiles.
Yeah, it's pathetic. I used to fly the Caracal Navy issue a lot. Like that was my favorite ship in the game. This was like before the like oracles were introduced, like way back then. And that ship has innate application bonus to heavy missiles. And I've tried to make it work. I've tried to make it work with hams, and I just can't do it. It's so sad. They need so much more help than just a 5% damage.
I think hams are fine. It's just that it's so much easier to fit rapid lights than hams. If you compare a rapid light caracal to a ham caracal, the ham caracal actually almost dies at 0 kilometers to the ham caracal just because the rapid light caracal just gets 2 extenders for free and free shield rates and the invul, and the ham caracal needs a web and it just struggles. It can only fit one large shield extender because of the fitting space.
I think the only place we really saw heavy missile use, regular heavy missiles on Tranquility for ages, is the super basic Treble Cat fleet, just AB, HML caracals, big shield tank, pretty decent at alphaing through things when you get a critical mass. Electrical damage types. They kind of fell out of favor to maybe like Rail Moa fleet when Test and BNI popularized them, but they're like a good go-to because they could project kind of well. That's really going to help them, but I just don't see, I still don't see it being enough to say bring back Drake fleet. Like, you can maybe have a missile guidance computer in your low, and
I think the Drake is flawed in the ship rather than the missile system.
Well,
getting buffed, right?
Getting into another huge can of worms. Tech 1 battle cruisers. Oh God, I could go on for ages. Yeah,
so we try and have another match before we go into that one?
Oh, we probably should. I gotta get my cheese all cut up for my wine that I'm about to just pour onto this, and it's bad.
Write an article about it. That's let's do.
We're just looking at the teams now, so we've got about 20 seconds or so.
Yeah, the teams are landing on the field here, and Super Social Club are here first. Looking forward to it.
Good
we have Nocturnal Romance landing on the field as well.
Yep. So Saturnia and Apothony will be commentating this soon. We're just locking up the targets now. Yep, should be with you shortly, guys.
So just to talk about the two setups that are on the field here, we have Cynosural Fury built the 2 Raven Navy issues, 2 Heretics and the Cormorant, and I think that was what we thought was their second strongest fit. And they're up against a really tanky composition with 2 Sacrileges, 2 Vengeances and a Neros, which will be really tough to break. But we will see if these Raven Navins and Heretics are able to break through this Neros. One thing is that I think if the Raven Navy's issues get caught by the Vengeances, they might be in a lot of trouble, because this is like a pretty good battleship busting setup.
Yeah, I mean, the Raven Navies have that potential to just have a ridiculous amount of buffer tank that are going to take ages for the Vengeances and Sacrileges to chew through. Like, Sacrileges on TQ, known for being super, super tanky, DPS kind of with the new missile mods and the HML buff, then we might see a bit more use of them, but they've got a lot of work to do. Thankfully, for the Future Corp team, there's no logistics on the field for the Nocturnal Romance team, so they can make progress without worrying that their low DPS is just going to be negated. But it's going to be quite difficult. I mean, look at those Heretics. Those Heretics versus those Vengeances, that's going to be an interesting fight. But they do have an Ares keeping them up, but the moment a Vengeance gets out of rep range, those light missiles from the Heretic are going to blap them.
Okay, we're just going to start the countdown now for the next match. Yep, Apostley, continue, take it away.
Yeah, it's actually, they have heavy assault missile launchers on the Sacrileges, so they will be close-range brawling Sacrileges.
Well, that's interesting. So they're going to be throwing in. I'm really interested to see whether they try and just get the Raven Navies down as quickly as possible, or if they go after the support. I mean, Sacrileges
I don't think they can catch the
Heretics. They might be able to catch them. It's whether the Vengeances can maybe hold them down. We'll have to see. The countdown is going soon, I hope. But I'm really interested to see how these kind of Amar-centric teams, in terms of having the Heretics on a Nocturnal Romance team, do against each other. I forget, is the Raven Navy issue kinetic locked, or is it not? I can't remember.
No, it has universal bonus. It has 8 launches. It doesn't actually have a damage bonus, but it has 8 launches, so it basically has 33% rate of fire bonus. Oh, sorry, the 33% DPS bonus from the Raven built into the hull.
Yeah. I actually want to check the fit on this Cormorant. Obviously, I'm not going to say it on the stream because that might have bad things happening, but I'm really interested to see what they do with it. It doesn't have that many mids, but it has the potential for a good amount of long-range DPS, the old Sniper Corm fit. But I'm really interested to see why they chose the Cormi over something else.
Yeah, I think maybe a tackler to try and help their sort of Kai might have been a bit of a better choice, or maybe like some damps or something so the Ravens can stay at range.
Yeah,
because damps really work well with Heretics with their light missiles and Raven Navy issues with their long-range missiles.
I mean, how do you think the reps are going to hold for the Aneros? Do you think that it's going to be super easy, given that the Sacrileges and Vengeances have innate resist bonuses, or do you think that the Raven Navies are just going to chew through the Aneros and then chew through everything else, or just be able to chew through, say, the Sacrileges straight off?
I'm not sure. It'd be interesting to see. The Raven Navy issues, they have cruise missiles, so it'd be interesting to see how well they will apply. Raven Navy issue does, as we mentioned before, have the application bonus. They might also be using the missile tracking guidance computers as well. Because the Aneros does have a really small SIG, but one thing that's really interesting is they have no link, so that Aneros is going to be a lot squishier and a lot easier to hit than a normal Aneros would be if it had a command ship backing it up.
And here we go with the match starting immediately. The Heretic of Admiral Dvorsky burning straight in, wants to be careful. Instead, we've got the Sacrileges of burning in to get those hands into range. Looks like that Nocturnal are going to stay back, try and keep range. They're going quite slowly. We have DPS being launched towards. I'm trying to see what it is. It is the Aneros. Aneros is the first primary.
Taking damage now. It's interesting that the Raven Navies aren't really fighting all that much. The Sacrileges are coming in and are going to get tackle on them. The Vengeances also aren't being as aggressive as I thought they would be. They're actually hanging back and trying to defend the logistic.
Yeah, Raven Navies have been tackled down now. We've got the some NOS going on from the Sacrileges to on the Raven Navy, because that's going to be difficult. The Aneros is starting to bleed into armor, but it seems to be holding reps fine at the moment. Looks like the Raven Navy is also active tanked yet, as you say. The Cormi now taking damage. That's a pretty easy pick-up kill. It gets Future Corp for the win. Nice pick-off, gets them on points. It means that the onus is on Nocturnal to make something happen. Down goes the Cormi, and the Aneros seems to be holding fine.
How many charges does he have left, though? Because he's used 6 or 7 so far, so he might not be holding on for too long. Vengeance starting to take damage now, so they're splitting fire a bit. One of the Heretics is also taking damage. It looks like he has been caught by something.
Yeah, it looks like the Heretic has been caught above the Aneros. He's getting brawled down by one of the Vengeances, just keeping away from the Aeneris, making sure the Aeneris is not tackled. Really good screening job done by the Vengeances to make sure that the Aeneris can keep up speed to mitigate as much damage possible from the Raven Navies. We have Captain Torek and the Heretic about to go down as well. That's going to be 2 kills versus none for Nocturnal. Looks like Future Corp want to get this match over quickly.
Yeah, and those Heretics actually rocket Heretics as well, so they're actually brawling down, and they had to go into range of those Vengeances to do damage.
We have a flight of jamming drones following their Heretic of Admiral round, not being much use yet. Now they're being reappropriated to something a bit more useful. We've got the Raven Navy of Euophis now taking damage, slowly burning through, but the Aeneris of Jeremiah is already in a 3rd armor. He may not be long for this world. He needs to get that XLASB reloaded. He needs some more ability to rep himself.
Okay, looks like his XLASB is just reloaded. He has 8 charges left, 7 charges now. It looks like he does have like a 1600 plate. Maybe it's like a transformer fit where you keep the plate offline, then you re-online it and offline some of your you offline your remote repairers, and you online the 1600 plate if you're taking damage.
Yeah, difficult to do. That's a big chunk of cap. You've got to lose the Aeneris. Oh, starting to go into structure, getting very low, taking a lot of damage.
Left.
He is actually going quite slowly. I think he must have been tackled by something, or he just doesn't have the cap to move. I don't see a ship near him at the moment, so he must just have run out of cap for his prop mod. Aeneris is going to be going down soon. Oh, and he's into structure, bleeding the structure, but at the same time, the Raven Navy issue of
so
Aeneris is going down as well.
So we have 2 Raven Navy issues and the Rocket Heretic from Admiral Dovolsky left up against 2 Sacrileges and 2 Vengeances, and this game might actually go to the clock.
Yeah, we've got a lot of drones surrounding Euophis. Looks like they're Infiltrator 1s. At this point, their ECM drones may be useful, because 15 seconds of a Raven Navy issue not firing is actually really useful for you at this point. You're just fighting buffer versus buffer. We've got Tycho Lore in the Sacrilege. Looks like he's got an AAR. Makes sense. Both probably AAR fit. It's going to survive as long as possible. But the Raven Navy seem to be holding okay with their tanks.
Yeah,
the
the
battleships,
is
they've
dropping
got
down
big
now.
capacitor reservoirs. Even if they're ancillary fit, they can, for a little bit of time, just pulse it without the cap charges. It's inefficient, but it does keep them up for a little bit longer.
And Raven Navy issue, even though it isn't an armor tank ship, it does, because it is a faction battleship, it does get quite a lot of hit points, raw hit points that they would have to chew through. Even if it isn't armor and structure, a damage control would easily give a Raven.
Oh, Tycho losing the last of his structure. Looks like he's just barely holding on by the skin of his teeth, whilst Euophis is losing the last of his shield tank. I mean, Nocturnal are really fighting to bring it back here. Much better than we possibly assumed they could. Yet down. It looks like the Nocturnal have evened this up. It's 3-3, 2 faction battleships and a Heretic versus a Hack and 2 assault frigs. Raven Navy issue is going to have a lot easier time tanking, but that's a shield round with the active tank that it's got going. It's dipping into armor, it's going down quickly, but Alistair Druid in the Sacrilege already taking a lot of damage from the sheer firepower of the Raven Navy issues.
Yeah, and Euphis is boosting now, so I don't know if he reloaded his, managed to reload his auxiliary booster, because if he did, then he's going to be able to tank a lot longer here. Also, what's really interesting is his second Heretic is light missile fit, but the other Heretic was rocket fit, which is kind of strange. I'm not sure what's really going on there.
That does seem odd. I guess they're keeping their options open, like not going to one, keep it together. They can clear off incoming tackle as well as screen it and take it down with the other Heretic. I guess we'd have to ask them to get the full story. Looks like we've got the Vengeance of Islagor taking a lot of damage. He's still my corp. I do remember Islagor. He's taking damage because we've got that split fire. You know, they really need to focus on that Sacrilege, finish it going down. You can see it repping back up to full armor, having a lot easier time tanking when it's not full DPS the enemy team. They do need every ounce of DPS Nocturnal in order to break the local tank of these Sacrileges, of this Sacrilege rather, with its great resist bonus, native T2 resist. But there it goes, getting down to the bottom of the armor. Looks like the AR might be done. Oh, one more charge.
Yeah, one thing that's interesting as well is using active tank Sacrileges with Namira, so I would have thought they would have preferred to use a 1600 plate or a buffer fit or something. But it does look like Euphis in his Raven Navy issue now is starting to take damage again, but he has stabilized at around 1/3 shields, and they still do need to get through that faction battleship armor and structure. So Alistair is going down now though, so I think it's actually they've actually managed to pull it back.
Yeah, I mean, Chester gave a lot of hate to the battleship teams, but if you've just got a really strong battleship with a good amount of cap, with a decent local tank, if ships are trading, then just the act of having to churn through a battleship worth of EHP and a faction battleship worth of EHP at that, with whatever active tanking mods they can throw on with all the spare slots, it does make sense at some points of the game when you've been trading ships, as has gone on here.
Yeah, and we saw that the Raven Navy issues didn't try to kite at the start of the game. I thought they would try and kite and pull range away, and the Vengeances and Sacrileges would have to chase for them, but they stayed still, and I guess that's because they just have like a very big active tank in the mid slots.
Yeah, final ship of Future Corp now, Nocturnal, bringing it back 1-1. They are still in the match. With that, we hand it back to the studio.
Yeah, thanks very much. That was a quite exciting match. I thought it was going to go one way, then it switched into the other way, so that was pretty cool to see. I am told that I can discuss these fittings now because they can't bring that setup again since they've won with it. Apparently the Raven issues were XL ASB and just not a regular shield booster and an XL ASB. So they had 2 shield boosters on them and a heavy cap booster driven as well. So they had a ton of tank on them, which seemed to, I guess because they probably had rapid heavy, so that gave them more power grid to do that. So that's quite interesting setup that Cyno just brought. Okay, so before we go to a quick video and then back to Bob in the studio, we're going to just give you a shout out one more question. So to win 100 million ISK EVE credit, you need to be on Tranquility, the in-game channel, #EVE_NT collides to win prizes. You just need to accept the answers in there. So the next question for 100 million ISK EVE bet credit is, what is the name of the recently released Glente tactical destroyer? What is the name of the recently released Glente tactical destroyer? First 10 correct answers in that channel will be winning themselves some credit, which they can spend straight away on these matches if they want to double their money. If you go to eve-bets.com, you can bet there on these matches. I'm just clicking refresh on my page now to see how much money's going on there. It's just taking a second. So yeah, we're going to cut to a video now, and we will hand you back over to Bob in the studio shortly.
Welcome, pilot. Begin systems check. Navigation systems online. Rockets online. Engines online. Magnetic catapult initialized.
Hold on tight, we're ready to deploy.
Launching in 3, 2, 1.
Listen up, this is Lieutenant Kavik. Escort missions are pretty routine, so let's use the time wisely and brush up on your flight skills. Activate boosters and group at the waypoint.
Esme 3 Tower, this is Convoy Hawk 6 Heavy. Do you copy? Esme 3 Tower, this is Convoy Hawk 6 Heavy. Do you read?
Where are you going, pilot?
No response from Esme 3 Tower. Hold bearing and continue approach pattern.
I don't like this. Something's up. Stay close.
the next life.
Okay, great. I am super excited about Valkyrie. If you don't know anything about #EVT, it's an event in Nottingham on the 19th of September, and myself and Ash Kadava here, that one, are running the event, and that's like why we obviously that's why the show was named after it. So at that show we will be having a demonstration of Valkyrie. CCP is going to be bringing the latest model down for you to have it go on. The queues are significantly shorter than FanFest, I'm told, although I didn't go last time because I was running the tournament. So yeah, come down, check out Valkyrie. I believe there's only about 30 tickets left for the event, and they're going pretty quick, and with 2 months left it will sell out guaranteed. So back to Bob in the studio. What do you reckon of that match?
Well, I'm just going to immediately pass it to Chesser, who had some very interesting thoughts during the ad break.
He has opinions and feelings.
I have a lot of strong opinions and feelings, damn it. To start with, the Ravens off of Nocturnal Romance. I enjoyed the use of cruise missiles, finally, thank God, I love my cruise. The thing that I find very strange is they opted for full tank fit with no application mids or lows, which, is an interesting idea. Obviously, it worked out for them in the end, but my real acid, my real hydrochloric salt level is directed towards Sleeper Social Club, because your sacrilege fits, good sirs, I have lots of questions on. You have a ship, a hack that can damage mitigate like no other, and has an amazing cap, a wonderful local tank, and you have two Vengeances which can pack scrams and webs to initially get initial tackle. Why, oh why, do you forego an AB and fit them and lock them into MWD scram web? When you can fit that cap booster on there, give them double reps, and they can literally tank for ages, especially with the mitigation, with their ability to mitigate damage with a 10-man AB, that would be just absolutely great. You would have easily walked all over these Ravens that had limited ability to apply their damage. Those fits I'm sorry. I just cannot get behind that. And sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Chesser.
And then the last thing is, we have a pair of heretics. This is switching back to Nocturnal. One was light missile fit, and one was rocket fit. I can't understand why someone would make that choice, because rockets on a heretic are basically in every way worse than light missiles, especially in a tournament setup where heretics are pretty easy ships to kill. You want them to use their range to abuse their ability to just basically stay at range and launch LMLs and blow up support. I find that very interesting. As you can see, the heretic that went in to try and attack the Oneros got insta-blown up by some Vengeances, and it's unfortunate.
So I think Chesser may have a lot of his rant out now. Let's switch talking about the Ravens themselves. Those Ravens tanked a hell of a lot. What do you think about that, Gorski, Sonia?
Well, like Chester, I want to see some application mods, and I'm not sure they needed the micro warp drives on those, because they got scrammed instantly as sat there, so they didn't really need the prop mod. And especially with cruise, when you can shoot over the entire arena anyway, so what's the point of being mobile if you're just gonna sit there and tank anything?
Yeah, I don't know why they had the micro warp drive, and well, I guess they could have maybe tried to kite, but it doesn't really work with the support that they have, because the heretics are obviously not going to be going into scram and web range unless they have rockets, of course, on one of them. But and also the Cormorant, I don't know what the Cormorant was really doing, but the Ravens did tank a lot. And again, I thought that setup would have been a lot stronger if they had maybe just a guidance computer instead of the micro warp drive,
or even replace Cormorant for a Vigil. Cormorant for a Vigil. I mean, something like that.
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
Oh, and with Oneros as well, I'm not sure it was a real rep fit. It had a 1600 plate and a shield booster and medium reps on it, so it's not gonna rep. I'm not sure if you could keep a sacrilege up with that, especially one without buffer. They have no buffer on the sacrileges.
Yeah, exactly. The sacrilege fit in general is just strange to me. The sac being in a Mars ship with capless guns, the cap power on that thing is tremendous, especially you throw in a medium cap booster on there, maybe even an OS, and it's perfectly happy to run dual reps for some time, and it can fit a massive tank, which of course, if you had ABs, its damage mitigation is very powerful.
Epiphany, if you were a tournament theory crafter, how would you fix the sacrilege setup from Sleeper Social Club to not incur Chester's wrath?
So firstly, do things Chester says would not be a bad idea. I mean, it really was a fittings issue, and it was like they kind of had this idea where, okay, so we've got hands, so okay, we need to tackle to get in close range, so we've got some scram wedge, okay, that makes sense. Like, you can almost see the logic in their fitting.
They're so close to having it right.
But, and like, yeah, they're really, really close to having really cool sacrilege fits. All the correct elements are there, just some of them need to be crossed to different ships, some of them need to, like, you just need to really refine and iterate and test. And as we said, these two teams aren't in the Alliance tournament, so they're having less testing, and that's fair enough. But, I mean, even though it's a different tournament setup for the Alliance tournament, you really can look at key Alliance tournament archetypes, things that we've seen for years and years. You can look at Minotaur Rush setups, you can look at Assault Frigate Battleship setups. Look at what you're trying to build and see what kind of archetype it is, because there aren't a huge amount of archetypes in the Alliance tournament or tournament setting, just the same couple ones done quite differently, but still with the same core ideas. Look where the tackle is. Look where the damage application is. Look where the points go, what teams are emphasizing, what are the key parts of what you're trying to do and where they need to go. And from that is when you go to EFT, and that's when you start going, okay, we need to have the tackle here, we need to have the tank here, this is how we need our logi fit, this is what we need the sacrileges to be able to do themselves, and this is what they need to rely on other ships for.
Oh, not confirmed, by the way. There were 2 light missile fit heretics. One of them just like decided to commit Sudoku.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
one
I
of
thought
them
that was
was not confirmed. Okay. Then I take at least that back and switch instead to say piloting. But that's okay. Because medium reps, I mean, the heretics should have been able to keep out the vengeances. Going back to what Sleeper Social Club had there, they had all the right elements. They were just a little bit too ambiguous. Using the vengeances for initial hard tackle would mean that the sacrileges can open up a mid slot. They don't need a scram. Maybe just have a web there. They can put in that medium cap booster and then either make them a dedicated double rep ship, have the Onieros there, because there isn't really a situation where you're going to be alphaing through a sacrilege with an AB on. It's going to be mitigating a ton of damage, and then do it that way. And they were close. It was really, really close. And I think if I were to run, I don't like sacrileges very much as a ship type, but if I was going to run sacrileges, I think that's what I would try and do.
So both teams now have 1 match apiece, guys. The Sleeper Social Club are now without their Slipnir Sweeple setup, and Nocturnal Romance / Cyno are now without their Navy Ravens. If you were both teams, what would you bring next?
Cynosural Field Free, I'd want to bring the Orpheus boys because I think that's the strongest setup.
So Orpheus boys for Cyno. What should Sleeper Social Club bring?
I think they should bring the Rattlesnake Yakto setup.
Just for sheer comedy? Or...
I think the Balgon setup is pretty cool though. I'd like to see how that works.
Well, the DPS is kind of low though on that one.
Well,
true, but
it does.
DPS is irrelevant when you have Balgorn on the grid. Like, they'll just nude everything dry, and it won't matter. I think if flown well, I envision fast speed fit confessors, 10 NAB fit, running out, grabbing ships, holding them down with the Guardian reps to support them, Balgorn slowly creeping up, applying the webs, and once the Balgorn webs are on and then it's in newt range, you're never escaping and you're going to die a horrible, painful death. Guardian should be perfectly safe with Balgorn webs and newts around it, and moving in a ball with the confessors kind of running out like tentacles to hold on to things for the Balgorn to catch up. I think that would be very cool if it could be applied that way.
But guys, I want the Mega Navy setup. I just want it to happen.
Max
like,
DPS.
When was the last time you saw Mega Navies on Tranquility? Like, it's always Vindies all day long. But like, Mega Navies, all the DPS, like all that tracking, all the faction, the hull bonuses and the tank bonuses and the extra low, and just I just want the Mega Navies to happen. Please, Social Sleeper Club. Pretty much everyone on their team I spent time in EVE Uni with, and one of them in Waffles with, just like, please, you're my friends, please bring the Mega Navy setup. It would make me so happy.
Yeah, I think there would be an 80% chance that those would be hull MGD Mega Navy issues. I think there's a good chance of that, hopefully. I'd love to see one of those MGD on top of something, say like an Orpheus. Beautiful.
We have 1 team on field.
Embarrassing story. I was taking a Nano out to PFR staging in my Nano Foon, and a Megathron MJD'd onto me in 0, scram at me and killed me.
Don't worry.
Yeah, there actually is Fozzie got owned by the mighty Miker. MJD just golem right on top of Fozzie's super pimp Orthrus and just blap. Gotta love it.
Absolutely beautiful. So we got one team on the field here already. How do you feel about this team, Apophany?
I'm just so happy right now. I just...
Max DPS, boys.
The max DPS is real. If only they, I wonder if the Mega Navy, if you could go with like, Hakate or something like that. But I guess it's for probably post-match discussion.
We need the tournament UI just so we can see that massive red bar across the screen.
Attack bar.
Exactly. The attack bar, best bar.
Dude, that's the best part of the Alliance tournament. Just when somebody brings a team with like a ridiculous amount of control or a ridiculous amount of attack, and it's just like, oh look, if they broke the charts, it's literally off the charts, guys.
I would be very interested to see if we could get Nocturnal Romance Cynosural Field, bringing the double Armageddon or double Macariel setups, just to have like, a nice, battleship fight. It'd be interesting to see, because while I don't like the double battleship setups, with both teams bringing them so heavily, it's kind of interesting to see in their double battleship meta what they're going to do.
Yep, and we have Noctland in the field right now. What do you think of that, Chester?
Oh, baby. Those are Macariels, which I think should be renamed to Macariels, but that's okay. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. The question to me is, are those Mega Navies, which are currently on 0 on the beacon, less than 1 kilometer away from me, going to be able to get on top of those Macs? Because if they can't, it's going to be brutal.
Chester, I think you should check the Tristan's ship name.
1 minute. I'm running a D-scan now. I must say, Admiral Davolsky is right now my favorite pilot, and I'm going to watch you like a hawk for this match, because if you make a mistake, I'm going to call it out and shame you. In case for all of you viewers watching, the Tristan that Satonia has pointed out to me has the current name of Chesser NACL Collector, which I very much appreciate.
So both teams are on field, and guys, we're just waiting. I believe one ship is missing at the moment. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, we're just switching. We're going to start the countdown now. Gorski's going to start countdown local as I'm speaking. And yeah, if Chester and Bob want to commentate this one, we are just locking up the last ship now.
Okay. So a lot in this match is going to depend on how those Macariels are fit. If those Macariels are like armor brawling, I think they'll probably lose. But if those Macariels are shield kiting and manage to take out those Enios and that Tyrannus, I reckon they've got a good chance of kiting out these Mega Navy issues and taking the match. Otherwise, if both teams go in, I think I would take the Mega Navy issues in a straight brawl. What do you think, Chester?
I definitely agree. Mega Navy issues in a straight brawl should crush Macariels. It's going to be interesting to me if the if the Rhaenys and the double Enyo are going to be able to utilize good piloting and good transversal control against the Macariels in order to get the initial scram web, because unless the Macariels are foolish enough to fly into MJD range or ram a Mega Navy, they should never be caught and should DPS them down from range. So it's going to be interesting. At least this match to me is really going to decide on support piloting. So can Chester Salt Collector and his squad take out the double Enyo Rhaenys? And match is just beginning.
Yeah, match is beginning. Mega Navy is approaching the Macariel wing. Sleeper Social Club going right in there. Nocturnal Romance not doing much of anything, just sitting at their 50 warping. I think with that warping, they will intend to kite a bit more.
Yeah,
the launch being applied.
Yeah, definitely. Tristans are releasing drones now. This Enyo of Taicho is just burning straight in, and those Macs are really not accelerating yet, and he's actually going to get a scram web here in a second if they're not careful, and I think that's very dangerous because those Mega Navies are very close behind.
Yeah,
and he actually bypassed this at all.
Yeah, if this turns into a brawl on top of those Macariels, I think the Macariels will lose.
Yeah, this is turning into a brawl. Yeah. This is definitely turning into a brawl here. This is going to be really interesting to see. I think this is very dicey. Macariels are being completely caught right now. Although it looks like Macariels are being caught. Well, yeah.
Rufus and the Mercurial to get away, but the other Mercurial is caught.
Oh, Enyo down.
Enyo down for the Super Social Club side. Tyrannus going down. Mercurial taking heavy damage. Magler and the Mercurial on the Cyno side taking a lot of damage here. Tyrannus going down. It does look as if Nocturnal Romance are focusing on the support for the Super Social Club side.
Oh, and their armor fit max.
Yeah,
armor fit max. I have to say, Zrend right now in the Mega Navy, I think that he needs to get closer to the Mac. He looks to me like he isn't getting as close as he could be because application with blasters closer is always better pretty much. You can load the high damage ammo you can get on top of him. He's starting to move in closer now. So that little bit of DPS lacking now, I think it's really going to start coming on. And Megalanar is, we're going to see if he can tank 2 Mega Navies on him, but pretty much the answer is no there. With support just shredding off in the background, it's not even part of the fight right now. Like I said earlier, keeping those Megas off the max was the fight, and it didn't happen at all. So this is where we're at.
What do you think the Tyrannus is doing? I think this Tyrannus is actually burnt out his prop mods at the moment. He's going very, very slowly, not moving anything at all, and he is about to get deleted, so it doesn't really matter to the match. It does look as if Nocturnal Romance is going to lose this one, unfortunately.
Megalanar is just... And you know what's interesting to me is Zrend and Leokokium, both of them... oh, my socket just closed. Crap. Bob, you're going to have to take over.
Crap happens. So, the situation currently, we have 2 Mega Navy issues on top of the Magler and Imperial for Cynosural fleet. So he is going to go down. The match is going to hinge on whether Rufus and the Mercurial on the Nocturnal Romance side can kite 2 Mega Navy issues and kill them for the whole match. Because that Enyo is going to go down, and without that Enyo, I don't think this Mega Navy issue is going to be able to catch this remaining Mercurial. But it will depend a lot on the piloting of that last Mercurial piloting, and he does appear to be approaching the Mega Navy issues, so I'm afraid it doesn't look as if that's likely to happen. Oh, that Mega Navy issue taking huge chunks of damage, actually. He is coming in slowly. It does look as if he is going to get caught, that Mercurial pilot. Yeah, that does look like Scram is going down on the Mac. No, he has broken out again. He is just going to the side a little bit. That Mega Navy is taking huge damage. It must be hull tanked. It must be hull tanked. That armor's gone way too quickly. Surely to God he's just not going to die in structure here now. Mac's still kiting, not a lot of damage being applied. That Enyo is still up. If that Enyo does get a tackle on that Mercurial, it's going to be over. Yeah, the Enyo is coming in. No, the Mega Navy issues are still trailing after the Mercurial, slowly applying damage to it.
I'm trying to work out what that Enyo's doing, Bob, right? Because he's just sat there going 350 meters a second, not really doing much. Has he burnt out his MWD or something as well? I mean, what's going on there? The Mac has pulled away. I figured I'd join you until Chatter gets back. But the Mega Navies are doing their best to take down the Mercurial. But Lunulican, the one in the front, he's taking tons of damage to that Mercurial.
Yeah, this Mega Navy issue looks like it's going to die. They just cannot catch the Mercurial at the moment. And this Enyo is still not doing much. He is slowly ambling towards roughly where the Mercurials, but he is speeding up now. What was he doing? Did he maybe DC during the match or something?
Oh, he was just at speed then. It looks like he might be an afterburner fit, which is a bit strange. Or he's definitely moving faster.
Why would you afterburner fit when you need that tackle? I mean,
so Mega Navy issue approaching half structure now. It's taken a while to die. The Tristan is just flying around, basically. Oh, the Mercurial is taking a lot of damage now.
Enyo is Michael driving now.
I am back.
So it looks like the Enyo is actually moving now, so he's not Nightmare X anymore.
It does look as if they're having issues with disconnects, maybe. I don't know if commentators.
Yeah, he may have disconnected.
Yeah, okay, it could be disconnecting. I hope that's it, because the piloting in the beginning of this match was extremely questionable of what the Mercurials were deciding to do there. I mean, armor fit Mercurials I'm never a fan of, and I think that it's a poor choice. If you're going to want to go with brawling battleships, there are much better choices.
The Enyu's making a questionable decision here. He's actually going for the Tristan of Admiral Davolsky instead of trying to get Scram on that Mercurial.
The Mercurial is actually Scram now. The Megas
the Mercurial just turned into the 2 Mega Navy issues.
Well, he got towards the end of the arena, I think, because, not quite.
He was 70-80k away. There should be plenty of room there.
He had 40k room to work with.
Yeah, he had plenty of room there.
He just went back into both those Mega Navy issues and basically sealed his fate. You may take one of them with him, though. In which case, I might give him a small chance against the remaining Mega Navy issue, but I severely doubt they're going to come away with this.
Looks like Admiral Davolsky is surviving, though. He has managed to get away from the NU, and but whether or not, I don't think he'll be able to carry the whole team when the Mercurial goes down.
I have to say, the Mega Navy having that extreme amount of structure with the DCU just saving its skin right now. Look at that thing just holding, and this mech is just getting crushed.
Yeah, that 15% of structure or so basically outlived like the Material's whole like half armor basically. So it looks like the Mac will go down without this Mega Navy issue dying, unless the hero Tristan can possibly, I don't know, finish off or his drones.
Oh, Mac
down, Tristan gone. Basically that's it for Nocturnal Romance. Cynosural Social Club is going to go 2-1 here.
And just an absolutely just thumping of a Nocturnal Romance. Just absolutely. I have no idea if there were DCs going on, so I'm going to assume that there wasn't. Please correct me, team captains, or if anyone of you can let me know, but the piloting from Nocturnal was abysmal. You had a Mac basically not moving at all. Your support wasn't on top and getting... I mean, the support didn't even catch the Macarials. Literally, they were rammed by Mega Navies. And the second chance where a Mac had a possibility to start kiting out, he turned back and just rammed. So many piloting errors here that really spelled doom for the Macarials.
Yeah, last Tristan gone. Mega Navy issue lives in low structure. The last Macarial apparently burned out his guns, so that's why suicided into the Mega Navy issues. So bad piloting all around, I'm afraid. You could have taken it if he'd maybe not burned out his guns, but that's the way life is in tournament matches, I'm afraid. Make one small mistake like that, it could cost you the whole match. So, with that match being done, we'll just hand it back to Bay.
Well, I'm not really sure what happened in that match. It was quite a hectic, crazy kind of match. There was a lot of things I didn't expect to happen. For one, Armor Macarials. I guess they are cool, but I didn't expect them, so that's cool. And the whole buffered Mega Navies with an Armor Rapper. That was strange things. So I'm going to give a shout out. I'm going to give the next question out. To win EveBet credit, you need to be in the Tranquility... on Tranquility server, you need to be on the in-game channel, which is #Eve_NT_collides if you want to win. And the next question, I'm going to try and keep a straight face while asking this question, but it might devolve into fits and giggles. So the next question to win some EveBet credit is, which members of our panel here this evening, our commentators and analysts, which members of the group are Alliance have been picked to commentate for Alliance Tournament 13? Is it A, Apothony and Chasseur, or is it B, Lord Servant and Zanuria? So it's a pretty straightforward question, that. So the first 10 10 people to accept win some credit, and they can go on to eve-bet.com to win. I see there's pretty much, isn't it near a bill now on the matches on EveBet now. It looks like the odds are in favour of Cynosural Social Club. The last match with the Raven Navies makes me think this could go either way, so you could win some money by putting some money on Cyno, who knows. So we're going to play another video for you now, and I'm going to hand it back to Bob in the studio to try and break down that match and understand what was happening.
Transfers on stage.
заходить.
Прыгаем. Есть главная цель?
Ждите всех. Теперь эта система наша.
Да, командир.
Welcome back, guys. I hope you enjoyed that trailer. That is the Dominion trailer, which goes back a number of years now. I remember watching that and getting super excited. It was kind of not long after I started playing, probably a year or so. It definitely was a pull for me trying out a Nullsec Alliance. That was when they brought in the last set of solve changes. Hopefully on Tuesday we're going to get an even better set. Maybe we might get a chance to chat about how those solve mechanics might change the gameplay of our commentators if we manage to figure out what happened in that match before the next one. Just something I want to mention before we go back to the commentators. Just to highlight something I'd like to emphasise, at Event Nottingham, we're going to be running a live poker table tournament where you can bet with ISK. The buy-in is 10 billion ISK, so serious players only, please. I think there's about 7 or 8 seats left. I believe a couple have already gone. So it will be, you'll have a room, you'll have your own sort of waiter there serving you drinks. It's going to be run by EOHpoker.com. are going to be sponsoring it. If you want to sign up, you have to go there. So if you fancy sitting around a table in a dark room, playing poker, having fun, but with pretend money, then come to Eve Nottingham. That should be a lot of fun. So handing over to Bob, if the excitement in this discussion is anywhere close to the discussion that was going on while those videos were showing, it should be interesting.
So I'm just gonna go through all of our analysts here one by one and just gather their thoughts on this match, starting with Apophany. Go.
So, as I said in my breakback, that was just kind of the textbook definition of really sloppy piloting. Like, the Macarial just sat there like, hey, I've got 2 Mega Navies burning at me. Hey, look, I'm scrammed by 2 Mega Navies. Oh, look, my ship's gone. I should probably touch the keyboard at some point, guys. Is that what we have to do in this game? Do we move the spaceships? No, you kite against Mega Navies. They're really big and scary and have blasters, and you run the fuck away, okay? And then, like, oh my god, towards the end of the match, with the, like, we had that point with the 2 Mega Navies chasing the Macarial that did know that kiting is a thing that occurs in EVE Online. The Enyo that was, like, the golden key to chasing him down, scrying him, and allowing the Mega Navies to actually do their damage, he just kind of chilled without using his prop mod in the center of the arena. Like, just got both sides really need to look at that match and go, what the hell were we thinking? This can never happen again. It's a good job we're not in the Alliance tournament this year, because with piloting like that, we would lose in the first round to Code, even if they didn't turn up.
Yeah, apparently that Enyo pilot thought that scrambling ECM drones was much more important than tackling Macarials. But we'll leave that explanation to you, Chesser.
All right, I'm saddling up to my podium. Macarials. I love that ship. I freaking love that ship. And the problem with the Macarial in a tournament setting is you have a sphere, you have to be careful of your piloting already, and finesse is not a word that many EVE pilots carry in their piloting dictionary. And a Macarial requires finesse. At the end of the day, we have 2 Macarials versus 2 Mega Navies, and the Macarials start at an advantage. They're 50k away from you. And that is exactly where they want to be. Regardless if they're armor or not, they're going to be faster than the Mega Navies. And the Mega Navies had bulkheads, they had AAR, they were not nanofit, they're not quick. And, neither are Enyos. They had a single Rhaenus, which is going to get deleted by Tall War and double Tristans, which, by the way, Admiral, you're salt collector. You're collecting salt for me right now, my friend. Mountains and heaps of it. I'm a salty bro. You did stay alive, you did good work, but the fact that a Mac was moving at 0 MS, just watching these, Mega Navies, if you could have, the Jaws theme, da-na, da-na-na-na-na, and not moving, unless he DC'd, which he didn't, like I did, there's just no excuse for that. We saw the Mac I forget exactly who was piloting that one out of Cyno, Nocturnal, actually starting to kite, and you could see the effectiveness of the Mac in that situation, you know, just burning away exactly where it wants to be. That's what should have happened. The amount of piloting missteps that occurred from Cyno Field Theory was just slightly greater than that of Sleeper Social. Sleeper Social had a very easy job to do. Click approach, Mega Navy gets on 0, does a lot of damage, they win match. Cyno had the job of piloting. The thing, though, about the piloting, though, is it was their match to lose, and they lost it in spectacular fashion.
Anything to add, Gorski?
Yeah, I don't know what the Macarls were doing, like, in their fits. One, like, the Tristan pilot was, like, a real hero with his yams. He managed to get one of the Macarials out in, like, the second Macarial. But, like, I think the Noct team, like, they heavily lacked any screening ships. They had only, like, Tristan, Sakaiti, and Atal war. Like, maybe bring some, like, Enyos or even, like, Merlins to just catch things would be better for the Macarials. Because if they could caught, like, the Mega Navies, like, 50 off, they could just kill them.
How would you fix a Macarial setup, Suetonia?
I think, just as Gorski says, just maybe some more aggressive support that can go in and just delay big brawling ships. And just generally, I'd just say, I think the setups weren't too bad. It's just that they needed to execute them properly. And you don't, even if you're in an armor Macarial, you still don't rule a Mega Navy issue. But they had a tracking computer, and the Macarial has a fall-off bonus, so they're still faster. They could still, you know, stay at 40 kilometers. This isn't TQ where you have to keep people disrupted or scrammed.
Okie dokie. So, Super Social Club are now without their Mega Navy issues, which Apophany was very enthusiastic about for the match, and turned out to be a match winner, I guess. And they also cannot use their Sleipnir setup and their Sweeples. Cyno only has her Navy Ravens band. So, Chesser, which setup would you bring for Cyno next to win a match?
So if I were Cyno right now, with the piloting that I just saw, I'm going to go with Armageddon setup, and I don't like it very much, but the piloting on the Armageddon side, you know, something gets within 37.2 kilometers of you, you start heavy needing it and you get kills that way, is much easier than the finesse of the Orthros double caracal scythe setup, which, as I just have witnessed here with the Macarial, Cyno plays with a very heavy hand, so while that setup, if piloted and executed well, is very dangerous, I'm not sure if they have the piloting ability to do so, so I would bring the Geddon setup.
So you think like an idiot-proof setup, they can all anchor nicely in the Augurer and all, you know, orbit 500s and apply damage and drones?
I mean, that's not a bad idea. Even, this is going to sound even crazier, but I also think that the double Macarial setup, again, may be a good idea because you're going to crush the Sacrilege setup. Well, again, hypothetically, you should beat the Sacrilege setup. The Rattlesnake setup you should beat easily. And against the Balgorn setup, I still think that you can win because capless guns and, you know, you're going to be able to break a Balgorn. 2 Macarials can break a Balgorn underneath one Sickle Guardian. So I guess I'm just trying to find like a non-finesse piloting setup for them, which is the Geddon setup, which I like the least. But, you know, I think that's what I'd go with.
Yeah, I definitely agree you should go with the Armageddons here. Like, if you look at what the SSC have left, like, all of those setups kind of counter the Orthruses. You have Rattlesnakes and Yaktos that can apply damage from like far away, and you have like the Balgorns with long webs and Confessors that you can't break, really. And yeah, they're not going to bring the Sacrilege shit up again because it's shit.
Do you think a Confessor can survive against 4 RLML ships, even in defense mode?
Like, it depends. It could burn away a bit.
If it's Tenement AB, you're right. If it's Tenement AB.
Well, they don't have links though, but still, like...
That's true. That's true.
You have 2 Confessors to deal with, and like you only need 1 to tackle, and you're fucked.
So segueing out of that, guys, we'll leave that match as it may, and we'll just wait and see what the teams bring for the next match. But for now, we're going to talk about the new tactical destroyers that just been released. So Aegis brought us the last tactical destroyer, which is the Hecate, and we obviously have the Jackdaw, Sweeple, and the Confessor that have been slowly being released over the course of the last 6 months or so. So, going to start with Gursky. How do you guys feel these have impacted like the EVE landscape? And do you feel they're balanced? Are they OP? Like, how are they?
Well, that depends on like what places you fly with them. Like in nullsec, they're still strong, like really strong ships, but not as OP. But like in faction warfare space, they're like absolute cancer. You can't beat the Hecate in a small plex. They should really be banned from small plexes. I think they're better as brawling ships overall. Like heavy brawling ship with love tank, just slaughter frigs.
Apophany, you're in PL, and PL are known for kind of larger scale doctrines. Are you guys got any plans to use tech-free destroyers at all?
So, back when we were fighting BNI, when BNI could field, 2 full fleets at us, we did use the Sveeples just after they first came out, before they got the nerf, just as like a haze E-War frigs thing, right? They could just fly around super fast, chase down mollusks and griffins, and kill them really easily, and that was a really good use for them. But thus far, in large-scale warfare, we haven't had an amazing use of the T3 destroyers. I mean, like the main thing is that cruiser doctrines are really big in null fleets, and the T3Ds are gonna take a lot of damage from like big blobs of cruisers with with the webs and the paints of the Lokis, the Hugins, the Rapers, and all that stuff, because they're not because they're small sig for sure, but they're not interceptor small. They're not as fast predominantly, apart from the Swipple maybe. So like they have their niche uses as anti-support, but we haven't really seen a big null doctrine. The Flycatcher may be the first one, kind of similar to the Harpy Hawk fleet that Goonswarm Federation currently uses. But again, the thing about the Harpies is they're designed to have a ridiculously small sig, like ridiculously small. And the Flycatcher, you can get to a small sig with ridiculous links, and we won't go into that, but it's still I just don't feel that they're going to be a core doctrine in nullsec quite yet.
What do you think of them from a solo perspective, Satonia?
I think they're really strong right now, and I think CCP should probably rename them to strategic attack cruisers.
Fair enough.
Here.
For one, I love the new destroyers. It was something new for me to train for a start. But stuff like the Confessor, it was just really flexible, and I was really, really excited, when they came out from a small gang perspective. But really, they're kind of squishy and to really fly in the kind of micro gangs that the Camel Empire usually roll in. And I do find myself sort of gravitating back towards my old favourites, like the Heretic and the Flycatcher, for example.
Yeah, they're definitely rolling rather than doing kiting stuff. Like I think the Heretic and Flycatcher definitely outshine the Jackdaw when you're kiting with them.
So got our first team landing on field here. Was it as you expected, Chesser?
Yes, it was. We have delicious Armageddons. And
the second team arriving there.
what I think is interesting is it's going to be ultimate nude battle.
Awesome. Battlegorns it is. Gonna pass it over to Bay to pass over the commentators for the next match.
Yeah, we're just locking up teams now, and we'll be ready to switch shortly. Satonia and Apothony will be commentating the fourth match. So it's going to be Armageddon's versus the Balgorn / Confessor setups. So both two super newty setups, which will be interesting. I guess this is going to maybe come down to who's got the most cat boosters. Who knows? So, Apothony, if you want to pick this up, and Gorski, if you want to start the countdown local, let's get this on the show. The road on the show on the road.
Yeah, so this match has the potential to be really weird. Like, if we just look at how the battleships interact and we pretend everything else isn't there for a second. The Armageddons could theoretically kind of mute kite the Balgorn, because the Geddons get the range bonus, the Balgorn gets the amount bonus. So if they mute off the Balgorn's prop mod, if it has one, they can stay within that extra bit of range, keep it out of cap without being cap dead themselves. Obviously, the tackle from both sides is going to really matter. The Confessors are going to chew through the Rifters almost immediately, and that Augurer, if we're honest, is not long for this world thereafter. It's going to be really on the Armageddons to do a lot of heavy lifting for the Nocturnal Romance team.
Yeah, definitely. And if we look at the war pins quickly here, you see the two Armageddons have come in at 0, while the support for the Armageddon, the Augur, and the two Rifters have come in at 50. So definitely want to be really aggressive with these Armageddons, and the Armageddon will actually start in newt range of the Balgon and two Confessors.
I mean, if he manages to lock the Confessors up before they get out of range, say that if they're even 10MN AB fixed, so they take a while to get started, then, they're cap dead. They're not moving. They're really easy targets to pick off. The match has started. The Confessors are trying to get away where they're not going very quickly yet. We've got to see where the newts going. The newts are off on the Armageddon first. Looks like Confessor of Iskagord is starting to take a lot of damage already. The Guardian needs to get reps on it as soon as possible, or it's going to be a very, very short life. There we go. Reps landing on the Confessor now. We do not yet have a primary for Future Core.
Yeah, and we see some illegal drones on the field here, some Ogre 2s, which are actually banned.
Ooh, naughty,
from one of the
naughty.
Armageddons.
Right, looks like the Augurer is the primary of the Future Corp team. Looks like it's holding so far. I need to get that damage applied to it. He's trying to burn away, trying to mitigate damage as much as possible, but it seems to be doing fine, if we're honest. The Confessor
And the
of his score is
Confessors are
doing
killing
fine.
Ogre 2s now. 3 of them have already been killed for the
Yeah.
Ogres.
Even with the Eagle drones, they're not making that much of a difference. It seems that Balgorn's taking a bit of damage, Balgorn and Alistair taking some damage, but we're really yet to see any significant work done by the team. Got a lot of positioning, a lot of moving around, in fact, a good bit of brawling going down here in towards the center of the arena.
Euphis and the Rift are taking damage now.
Yeah, I mean, those are some really easy point gains. So if the Confessors
Yeah,
go
I'm
onto the
not quite sure
Rifters-
what the Rifters are doing here because they're not really going in or doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, one of the Rifters is just running away from EC300s. In fact, no, it's not even that. I'll have the camera angle wrong. One of the Rifters, the Rifter of Captain Torek, is just flying around as far away as possible, just trying to live, when he really needs to help get some work done. I mean, they're easy targets to pick off. It's an easy way to lose the point advantage, but the Rifters need to have some value in this match. They've got to be able to do something. And as you say, the Rifter of Erophis, previously our Raven Navy pilot who tanked Rages, is starting to take a lot of damage. You've got the reps and the Ogre, but speaking of reps, think about how these teams are going to tank. We've got a Guardian versus an Ogre. A Guardian can put out a lot more reps. It's got T2 resist itself. The Confessors are going to have a great resist profile. The Balgorn versus the Armageddons, they've both got T1, but it's a full T1 resist profile of the Nocturnal team.
Yeah, and also something that's worth pointing out, I think, is that the Balgon team is going to be a lot better off, I think, in the long run, because Armageddon drones have been shot and we did actually see a set of heavy drones destroyed. And the Rifters are obviously not going to be doing nearly as much as the Confessors in the late game.
Yeah, we've got the Armageddon. Actually managed to get some newts on the Guardian of Jeremiah. He's managing to burn away, but his speed is beginning to drop. He's speeding up again. Looks like he got another boost of his prop mod on, just managing to survive the newts of the Armageddon. Armageddon now getting Clunk in the Confessor.
We do see a web on a Confessor now, so it looks like the one of the Rifters or something has caught him.
Yeah, it looks like the Confessors are the prime target of the Nocturnal team, but they're just not taking enough damage here. You know, they're just sat at 63% and 81% armor. Just not much is happening. Even the Imicus of Giacomo, he's just kiting around, happy as can be, staying away from the Rifters. I mean, the Rifter that's not doing anything, he can just go after this Imicus. It's not within safety range. You know, not much can come and save it. You can try and get some work done there, but you know, Captain Torek and Euaphis again is just pulling away, trying to stay away.
Yeah,
just too scared of dying.
I do see 5 sentries from the center, and I'm not sure if that's what's doing this periodic damage to the Confessor.
Quite possibly. I mean, the Confessors have now even just been rep back full, and it seems we're in a bit of a stalemate. We've got the Admiral Dravosky and the Armageddon taking some damage. We've got a bit of damage on the Ogre. Imicus is finally taking a bit of damage. It looks like he's been chased down by one of the Rifters at last.
Oh, it looks like the Rifts are actually doing a good job there then. I'm not sure how much longer is left in this match, but if it goes down to points, that Imicus kill could be a deciding victory.
Yeah, I mean, we've got this Ogre now going down to half health. Ogre worth more than Imicus. Actually, Imicus getting wrecked by the Guardian and tanking the Rifters. Not sure I've ever seen in any tournament before an Imicus having to tank Rifters with Guardian reps. Seems a little weird. Clunk and Professor taking some damage again.
Durston the Ogre is slowly going down to his 1/3 armor.
Yeah, as you say, the Ogre is slowly breaking. Not much happening on the other side. Each team just switching primaries, seeing what they can web down, what they can tackle, what they can apply newts to, what they can apply tackle to. It's actually quite back and forth, but I think it is Future Corp that are slowly coming out on top. The Guardian is doing great work keeping everyone alive across all the targets. He's managing to just not be dead from the 2 Armageddons, and that Ogre is slowly but surely going down. Okay, we may have lost Newtonia, but the Ogre is now hitting structure.
Yeah, Ogre about to hit structure now. We're seeing a bit more damage being applied to the other Confessor now, as well as the Guardian as well. But the Augur is down now, so I think it's probably going to be curtains pretty soon for Cynosural Theory.
Okay, with that Augur down, it means that every bit of damage here from the Future Corp teams means so much more. It cannot be rep back up, cannot be mitigated nearly as much. Looks like we've got a Rifter now. Rofus finally been caught. He's finally going to, there he goes, pops very, very quickly. Just a cheap Tech 1 frigate, going to pop very, very easily. Now the other Rifter, Captain Turret going down, but the Confessor of this suddenly in structure. Great hit off on him. He needs to watch his transversal.
The Guardian did get caught. Maybe it got neutered by Armageddon's, but it looks like he's catching reps now. But that was pretty close. The Confessor actually is probably 1/3 of the DPS from this setup. So if they lost Confessors, they could maybe get turned around on by 2 Armageddons. But it looks like the Guardian has managed to cap up. Probably with the Rifters dead, one of the Rifters dead, they're not tackled anymore.
Yeah, Rifter did manage to pull away. He's burning back in towards the Imicus, who's the wrong side of the field. Imicus burning in closer, trying to get towards the safety of the Guardian reps. But we do have this weird newt chain. So we've got the Armageddon, the Balgorn, and the Confessor of this kind of in a newt chain here, if you will. Actually now being joined by the other Armageddon. Looks like it's the Armageddon of Admiral neuting the Confessor down. Oh, another Rifter pops. Just 2 Armageddons left of the Nocturnal team. The Guardian, as long as it doesn't get neutered, should be able to rep the DPS of those 2 Armageddons fine. It's not going to apply very well, as long as the pilots are paying attention. It looks like Future Corp will be bringing this game to a close.
So we're seeing Confessor taking damage again. We do see Wasp EC900s, which are the big jamming drones on the Guardian now. So if that does actually break the lock, but it looks like it hasn't, because he had just got cool Guardian reps right there. I guess that's the only way they can try to hope to win now, is just deploy ECM drones on the Guardian, hope to get lucky rolls and maybe kill the 2 Confessors.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of work. I don't want to think about how many points they have to churn through, because I mean, I think that even if you kill both the Confessors and the Imicus, I'm not sure where that puts... Actually, no, they'd be fine on points, I think, then, if they managed to get those down. But, yeah, it's so difficult. Like, it's so difficult to get from here when you've got 2 Armageddons. You've got tools, but they're not enough for the job. And we see the Armageddon of Magar going down into 1/3 armor. Now he's going to be going down soon. And congrats to Future Corp for bringing their lead back strongly, showing that they are not a team to be messed with.
Yeah, I think this is the weakness of an Armageddon, is just not being able to apply DPS all that well with Tech 1 drones and it being destructible. I think Armageddons are definitely, I think they're a 1 of in a setup, not a 2 of in a setup.
Yeah, I mean, it was the Nocturnal team that deployed the T2 drones, I believe. And given that they're the ones that lost, we're discussing the possibility of possibly having needed a restart, but given that the team that used not allowed modules of the drones and they still lost, I don't think we're going to do anything about that, given that the outcome wouldn't have changed if their drones were weaker. But we'll have to see what the official ruling is there from CCP Logiro and Bay and the guys who decided that. Armageddon and Mega are now going to structure. We've got one Armageddon left. It is the slow death toll of Nocturnal that we are currently watching.
Yeah, and this is unfortunate. So one of the Armageddons did actually get Tech 2 drones destroyed. It'd be interesting to see if maybe if he has no drones, if he can reconnect to some other ones, because there are some friendly drones around him that he could possibly use, like the Curators, but he's probably tackled down here since he's going to be moving at 32 MS.
Yeah, Admiral slowly being burnt down. I'm quite interested to see the Guardian fit.
He has he has set his self-destruct now, and his Armageddon is named Chester's Salty Rage, and he's using the Kador skin.
20 seconds now on the timer. I think this is going to go to time, but it looks of it, yeah.
But yeah, Future Corp have one, and I'm quite interested to see the Logifits. Like, one of the... Like, there's a lot of interesting things about fitting for the Alliance tournament, but I always find that Logifits are really niche and cute. Like, there's very standard ways to fit them for the Alliance tournament, but there's just... Every time you get a patch change, you know, with the change of plates and with all the different changes we've had, over the past year, just how they affect us slightly rated. You can get a slight bit more rep power with this fitting, that fitting here. It's a really interesting topic just on its own, just how to fit logistics in the Alliance tournament. Suetonia, what is your preferred logistic ship, Guardian or Neros?
I prefer the Aneris a lot to the Guardian. I think the Guardian only has 2 mid slots, and I think it's a lot harder to use the extra 2 high slots that the Guardian has. Normally in fleets in Tranquility, you see energy transfers there, and the energy transfer chain from one ship to another allows the Guardian to essentially perma-run 5 large reps on the ship, so it actually out-reps the Neros, which can only fit 4 large reps. But the Aneris has 4 mids, so I think it's a lot easier to do something like dual prop, or to have multiple injectors, or to do something like an XL ASB fit. I think the Aneris is a lot more flexible than the Guardian, but I think the Guardian can definitely work in the right
As you
setting.
say, on Tranquility, we see the Aneris used predominantly in Nullsec. If it's an armor fleet in Null, 9 times out of 10, if not more, you see Aneris support. In Lowsec, however, it's Guardians we see. Famously, your Snuffbox, your Shadow Cartels, all rapid use of Guardians. And even in Wormholes as well, we see Guardians for the cap chain. You can move it around, give Captain Eating ships. So I do really like the kind of the dichotomy of choice between the two and where they're most useful.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a mobility thing there, because in Lowsec, obviously, most people tend to be more static in a static place than in Nullsec, where the grid tends to be a little more contested, and fights tend to happen at places that aren't stations and gates.
Enough of that. We have to go back to the studio to discuss the match.
Yeah, before we do, I'll just butt in a little bit. Thank you very much for both teams taking part. I know the screen does say next match starting soon, but that is actually the end of the series. Super Social Club taking it there fairly convincingly, 3-1 victory. There was a little bit of issues there. We missed in the teleport the fact that the couple of Geddons had T2 heavy drones, but we allowed it play on anyway. As CCP Logibro nuked the drones. So that was the end of the series. Congratulations again, Sleep Scope Club. Thank you very much to Cynosural Field Theories for taking part. Before we go to have a little bit of post-match discussion and wrap the show up, I'm going to shout out another question, and you can win yourself some Quaif ship skins. So I've got a Dominic's Quaif ship skin, 3 Vexes, and 6 Quaif Tristan frigates skins to give away. The first correct answer will be the Domi, the Vexes, then the frigates. So, are you ready? In the in-game channel, #Eve_NT space collides. I'm going to ask the question now. Which sponsor is going to be backing the poker table at EVNT Nottingham? Which sponsor is backing the poker table at EVNT Nottingham? I gave you the answer earlier in the show, so if you're paying attention, you should be able to win yourself a shiny shipskin. Thank you to CCP, and also massive thanks to CCP for Logic Bureau helping us out. Without his help, this would be 10 times more challenging running on CCP, so thank you very much, Logic Bureau, for coming on to help us out this evening. Yeah, okay, so we're just going to wrap up a little bit, see what the commentators thought about the series, and then we'll knock it on the head. Just to say one thing before I go, we will be coming back in October. We're going to take a 2-month break for tournament and then our event. We are actually looking for speakers for that event. If you're a content provider in EVE Online, if you've got an idea for a brilliant presentation, Nash is looking for people to present short presentations. We've got a room set up. If you've got interesting things to say about EVE Online and you think other people want to hear them. So, Bob, did you predict that SSC would win this series?
Yes, I think SSC were the most likely to win the whole series, honestly. Based on the weight of the setups that both sides had before the everything was released and bans, I think that SSC had a stronger pool of setups and were much better than Sleeper Social Club setups. Than Nocturnal Romance's setups. But What do you guys think? Do you guys think Sleeper Social Club are going to be good enough to beat Tuskers, for example?
No, not even close. This is the clusters are on a completely different level.
Okay. So, what does Sleeper Social Club need to do to improve to take on a team to the level of the Tuskers?
I want to say, it's a combination of a few things. Their metagame understanding, I think, is not as strong as Tuskers, number one. Number two, their on-grid tactics. For example, this last match right here, we have essentially two Gettons on zero, an Augur 50k away from them with Rifters, and you don't run your Confessors right over to the Augur, blow it up. I mean, it was really sloppy play as well that the Guardian got neutered out because the Guardian was completely safe behind Balgorn, which has double webs and newts of its own. I mean, it's just plays like that just shouldn't even occur with a team that has much better on-grid tactics and situational awareness. And I think those are the things that really hold them back.
Do you guys think it was a deserved win for Sleeper Social Club in this series?
Yeah, I think Social Sleeper definitely overall played the match better than Nocturnal, and they had the better setups. But I think the point that Chester was trying to get to is that you can be better than someone and still have a lot of problems. As we've seen Social Sleeper Club in the Alliance tournament last year. They did okay. I think I can't remember the matches offhand, but I think they won a few and then got knocked out kind of early. But they did an okay performance. They were there, they played games, they did all right. And this is really, if you look at matches played by SSC and Nocturnal here, and you see the matches, for example, Tuskers versus Waffles, and especially what's the Tusker side in that, that is where you will see the differences between the calibers of team we're talking about. The difference between teams that will stop by the end of the first weekend of the Alliance tournament and will make it to the final weekend. It's teams that know which ships they must primary, which ships they can primary. They know what ships need to have tackle, where it needs to be placed. People that know how their setups need to be flown, who can make those decisions where, okay, we've got a setup that can brawl and can kite. What do we need to do against what we're seeing? Those who can make those decisions on the fly.
Do you have any final comments, Gorski and Suetonia?
I think it was a good set of matches. I thought the SSC were gonna win. They had better subs. But I was surprised
we wanted to see Orpheus voice, man.
Yeah.
Orpheus voice.
They got to see Helltime Navy Megas. Surely that's a bit of a consolation, right?
Yeah, it's a shame that they won though with them because they were only able to bring them to one match.
Yeah,
we wanted to see them in more matches.
Got to see awesome Navy Ravens, guys. You guys think that Navy Ravens might be a feature of the upcoming Alliance tournament?
Maybe.
I've certainly been dunked by a couple in practice, but I don't. That's more of a reflection on how good we are as a team, I think, rather than how good the ship is. But yeah, certainly I was impressed by some Rafi heavy missile setup that tore as a new one.
So anyway, I think it's that time, guys. Good job to Sleeper Social Club again, beating Nocturnal Romance / Cyno 3-1. Great series. We're going to be back in October. If you want to be part of the October series, then just contact BRJ and he'll sort you out.
Yep. Thanks again. I just realised I've got a little bit of credit to give away. I've got one more questions worth of eBet credit to give away. So what I'm gonna do, and a ticket to EVNT Collides. I realised it wrapped up a little bit. I didn't plan for it to wrap up sooner. So if you're paying attention now, still a few hundred people watching. So I'm going to give away 1 billion ISK EVBet credit to the first person who can get on Reddit, find the post I made about this show, and reply to it. The first person to reply to it will win 1 billion EVBet credit. Thanks to our amazing sponsors, EVBet, giving us tons of credits to give away over the last 3 shows. Hopefully, they might be sponsoring again in October. So if you can find my post on Reddit /Eve, you can win 1 billion ISK. I've already given away the 10 shipskins now, so you should be contacted those by CCP tomorrow. And lastly, the last thing I've got to give away is a ticket to EVNT. So don't don't bet for this if you live in New Zealand and can't get a flight over in Nottingham. So I'm going to be giving this ticket away to the first person who can email me. That's Bay space ArtsJ spelled BEI space ARTJAY. First person can email me the answer to this question, which is which media outlet, should we say, will be doing a live show at EVNT Nottingham. So we're going to be doing a live stream from our event, which should be quite interesting. Having different a couple of presenters on, and can be going through what's happening on the day, chatting to various guests we've got. So if you can email me which media outlet's going to be covering that, it's posted on their website. You can win yourself a ticket. I believe that's it now. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you for my brilliant staff here who've been super helpful. Dwygon running the Twitch chat, Zin helping hand out prizes, Logibro, of course, doing moving people around the system, and our great commentators and analysts, Apothony, Chaser, Gorski, Bob Shefters, and Sutonia. We'll see you again in October. Looking forward to the Alliance tournament. I hope you are too.
We were hunters and foragers. The frontier was everywhere. We were bounded only by the earth and the ocean and the sky. The open road still softly calls. Our little terraqueous globe is the madhouse of those 100,000 millions of worlds. We who cannot even put our own planetary home in order, riven with rivalries and hatreds, are we to venture out into space? By the time we're ready to settle even the nearest other planetary systems, we will have changed. The simple passage of so many generations will have changed us. Necessity will have changed us. We're an adaptable species. It will not be we who reach Alpha Centauri and the other nearby stars. It will be a species very like us, but with more of our strengths and fewer of our weaknesses. More confident, far-seeing, capable, and prudent. For all our failings, despite our limitations and fallibilities, we humans are capable of greatness. What new wonders, undreamt of in our time, will we have wrought in another generation, and another? How far will our nomadic species have wandered by the end of the next century, and the next millennium? Our remote descendants, safely arrayed on many worlds through the solar system and beyond, will be unified by their common heritage, by their regard for their home planet, and by the knowledge that whatever other life may be, the only humans in all the universe come from Earth. They will gaze up and strain to find the blue dot in their skies. They will marvel at how vulnerable the repository of all our potential once was, how perilous our infancy, how humble our beginnings, how many rivers we had to cross before we found our way.